Hello lovely people, what's going on? My name is Jamie Dean and welcome to this month's pickups video here on Sidescrollin. And I tell you what, last video that I did, I said was my biggest pickups lot ever. I'm gonna have to go back and like change the title of that video or something, because this is insane. The second-hand gods have smiled on me this month. I'd say this month's lot is probably more than twice as big as last month's. It's like there's like literally just piles and piles of shit sitting here next to me. I have no idea what I'm going to do with it all or where I'm going to put it. But anyway, there's a lot to get through. So let's go on down to the table and I'll show you what we managed to find. Ooh, fancy new camera angle. We're trying something a little bit different. I've got a little bit of a different camera setup that I'm trialing to hopefully make it a little bit easier for me to do some table-oriented stuff. If I clean my mat. Things like unboxings, things like flipping through like, you know, different gaming guides or art books or magazines, having like deep dives through different games and their manuals like we do on Collecting Retro. Just like building model kits, stuff like that. I'm hoping that this setup will make all of that a lot easier for me to record and a lot easier for you to watch. So make sure you drop a comment down below and let me know if you think this works or if it was better the other way. Right, let's just get on into it because, like I said, there is so much stuff sitting here next to me. It's kind of nuts. Like I'm feeling a little bit of internal shame. Looking at it all like, oh my dear God, Jamie, what have you done? To be fair, it's not all for me. There's some eBay fodder in here. There's a huge chunk of stuff here for friends, mostly Scott. So I don't feel all bad, but there is still a lot of stuff. All right, let's get on into it. So first things first, a little manual that I managed to find. The Parasite Eve 2 strategy guide. This poor old thing has seen better days. It is, I mean, it's not terrible condition, I suppose, but it is sort of starting to fall apart. The cover's sort of like pretty much come off. Yeah, it has come off entirely. But yeah, I found this in a box of games at one of my op shops, and they just said I could have it if I wanted it. So I was like, okay, I'll have it. Thank you very much. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I don't know if this is something that people want, or if it's, I don't know if it's particularly valuable. Probably not. I just thought it was a cool little curio. So that was the first little thing I found. Next up is a CD, Linkin Park's Reanimation, a fantastic remix of a fantastic album. One I was a big fan of in high school. Picked this up on eBay because I just wanted to reacquire, again, some of the stuff I had from that era, and this was certainly part of that. So that's going to go into my collection. Where from here? My God. Let's go with TV stuff next. Yeah, I think that's probably the way to go. So you'll see on the last pickups video that I managed to pick up seasons 1 to 6 of Game of Thrones. This month I've managed to pick up season 7 and season 7. I picked these up like many, like one was at the start of the month and one was at the end of the month, and I couldn't remember whether I had it or not. So I've ended up with 2 copies of season 7. I'll probably just try and find one a new home, obviously, and put the other one in my collection. So it's just season 8 that I'm chasing now. I also found The Office, seasons 1 and 2. All of what I'm showing you now, by the way, everything that's TV or movie related, unless I tell you otherwise, was $1. Okay? So $1 each for those. $1 for Game of Thrones, which was fucking wild, crazy. These are a little bit more expensive. That is the complete series of Lost. Someone had obviously brought in their entire collection and just dumped it in the second-hand store. I think this cost me about $20, $25, somewhere around that for the entire lot. and I was happy to pay that, because this is one of my absolute favorite shows of all time, and it's one that I knew I wanted to have physical copies of on my shelf. So I have that now. I don't need to, I'm not missing any. I don't need to hunt one down. I couldn't find number 5 actually. These were in the store, and then all together, and then this one was randomly placed somewhere else. So I was thinking I was missing one, but I managed to track that one down in the same shop on the same visit. So that was good. Entire series done. I think that's it for TV. Oh god. Oh man, there's so much shit. Let's go games. Let's have a look at some games. Okay, let's do some games. That's why we're all here, isn't it? All right, my first one is a pickup I grabbed during the Amazon Prime Day sale. I didn't really find anything really that I wanted during the Prime Day sale, unfortunately, except for this one title that I knew I was chasing, that I wanted for my shelf. I'm very keen to try it out. Not typically my style of game, but it's just so gorgeous. If you go back and watch our top 10 most beautiful games ever list, this one is on my list, and that is Sea of Stars for the Switch. Now, this is a UK copy. My understanding is that the Switch is region free, so it should be fine, I'm hoping. I haven't, as you can see, it's still sealed. I haven't tried it yet, but I'm pretty keen to give this one a go. All right. Next one is next ones are a couple of eBay finds. Again, just ones that I wanted for my shelf for various nostalgic reasons. First one is God of War for the PS4. I've been chasing this for ages and ages. Because again, this is very much like Uncharted. This is a game that I have never personally played, but I have watched playthroughs of it. God, 5, 6, maybe more times on YouTube. I just love this story, and so I knew I wanted to have that for the exact same reasons that I have Uncharted on my shelf. All there, complete in case, so that is good. But yeah, nice little find. The reason it's taken me so long to get this, it's not that it's a terribly difficult game to find. It's the prices, for whatever reason, just seem to keep going up and up and up. I don't really know why that is. But I was just waiting until I could find one that I thought was a decent amount of money. I think I grabbed this for $12, somewhere around there, which was quite a bit less than the other ones that were out there. So I jumped on it when I found it. Another one from the Wayback Machine in my teenage years. This is probably the first big open area shooter that I played, I think. It was either this or Tribes, one of those two. I'd gone from things like, arena shooters, Unreal Tournament, Quake, GoldenEye. GoldenEye, I guess, is a fairly open area shooter, but this was taking it to a whole nother level. And that is Operation Flashpoint. I think this cost me $4 on eBay. Nothing. But yeah, this was mind-blowing when I played it at just how big and open the area was. This huge space of a playground. See, there's all sorts of stuff in here. There's it's basically brand new. I don't think it's ever been touched. It's got the manual. It's got a field guide, a quick guide. It's got a little fold-out thing that you can stick together and, I don't know, stick on your table in front of you if you want to do something like that. Whatever. But, oh fuck, how does this go back together? There we go. Big manual too, big chunky manual. But yeah, Operation Flashpoint, lots of good memories from screwing around in this. This might have been the first game I played where you could drive vehicles too, and that was what fucking hell, holy shit, vehicles, you can drive vehicles? Crazy. So yeah, a good one. Fond memories. All right, these are all secondhand store finds. Again, these were all sort of between $1 and $3 each, somewhere around that sort of mark. The first one is Medieval 2 Total War. So this one will join Rome Total War and Shogun 2 on my shelf. Another one that I very much enjoyed. I didn't enjoy this one as much as those other two, but I still very much liked it. I think this one just kind of got a bit too... I don't know, maybe a bit too sprawling, a bit too unwieldy. Not to the extent that Empire did. But I still had a really good time with this one. Still enjoyed it very, very much. So happy to have that on the shelf. This is the Stronghold Collection. I've got Stronghold on my shelf already. I found this just sitting there. The case is a bit damaged, as you can see. A bit of a knock there. But I thought, you know, these other titles in the series, I don't have any real nostalgic attachment to. I know a lot of people like Crusader. I wasn't a huge fan of Crusader. I just don't think I liked the setting as much as the original. And given that Stronghold HD is out now, I mean, I'm pretty content with that as far as Stronghold goes. So I'll probably try and find this one a new home somewhere. But yeah, again, for like $1 or $2, I couldn't leave it there. So it came with me. Another one that's going to be some eBay fodder is Zoog Tycoon 2 plus expansions all together in the one case. So again, not one I've played. I never really played the Tycoon games. I just didn't have access to them. I would have loved them, I'm sure. In fact, I know I would have loved them if I had them, but I just never had them. So another one I've missed out on, but I know this one's quite popular, and I'll be able to try and find a new home for that one. Far Cry 5 for the PC. Again, not one I've played. Have I played 5? No, I haven't played 5. I think 4 I dabbled around in a little bit. 3 I missed. The first one I dabbled around in a little bit. You know, it's kind of... If you've played a Far Cry game, you've kind of played them all, I think. But yeah, again, hopefully be able to find a new home for that one. Oh, this one I might be keeping. This one I might hang on to, actually. It's not on the platform that I would want it on. I'd rather have this on the PlayStation 2. But again, for $1 or $2, I was going to leave it there. And that is GTA San Andreas for the PC. So yeah, my exposure to this one... Vice City I had on the PC, which is the... copy. Yes, there's a PC copy that I have on my shelf. So I guess this one would match that one nicely. Would sit alongside it. And but the PS2 is where I had... I didn't play a lot of San Andreas, unfortunately, which I think is a shame because it's a lot of people's favorite GTA. Apparently it was, you know, absolutely amazing. Again, I didn't own it myself. I only played it via friends at the time. So I just didn't have the exposure to it, unfortunately. But I fucking loved Vice City. I don't know why I didn't jump on this one. But yeah, I'll probably hang on to this because what I did play of it, I really liked. Another one that I haven't played, but I know I would like if I did play it. I've already got the first one on my shelf because I absolutely love it. And that is XCOM 2 was sitting there as well. By all accounts, pretty much better than Enemy Within in every way. I just haven't had the time to actually play it. But it's all there, including the manual. So, a nice little find. I'm not sure. I might keep that one for the shelf. We'll see. We'll see how we're doing for space. which is starting to become a little bit of an issue. I'm not at like... I'm certainly nowhere near capacity, but I'm sort of at the point now where it's like I'm going to have to do a little bit of reorganizing to start adding more and more things. Next one is Dom's favorite, and that is SimCity with the lenticular cover. I don't know how well that comes across, but this is the collector's edition steelbook, actually. So, nice steelbook. Again, another thing Dom absolutely adores. He loves his steelbooks and he loves his SimCity. So, this might even go to him. I'm joking. I wouldn't give him anything. There we go. So yeah, again, $1 or $2 for a nice steelbook collector's edition. I thought maybe I'll be able to find that a new home. It does look nice. Like I know the game's universally pretty loathed, but this edition of it is a nice edition. It's like polishing a turd, right? Like this piece of shit. This is a nice piece of shit though, as far as pieces of shit go. Anyway, we'll see how we go with that one. Woo. This was an interesting one, this next one. It's in the category of like, again, like I've found some good stuff here, stuff that I don't usually come across. Like when you go into these secondhand stores, there's often like, 10 copies of Wii Play and there's a few FIFAs and a few CODs. And that's kind of about it, really, right? Maybe Wii Sports here and there. Like the usual crap that you see in every single secondhand store. And this is a game that as soon as I saw it, I was like, did a bit of a double take. It was like when I found Arcanum, like it was like, What is that doing on the shelf? You know, where's this come from? I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I've got no connection to it myself at all. Like, no nostalgic attachment. I never played the game. Was probably never really even interested in the game. But it was just such a bizarre curio to find, and it's a beautiful cover. That I don't know. I've kind of want to hang on to it. I don't know why. I just kind of like it, and that is Final Fantasy XI: The Wings of Goddess expansion. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? I don't know how well the camera's picking this up. Hopefully it's okay. Yeah, just a lovely little thing I found on the shelf. I thought, wow, I can't, like, even just for the cover art, I can't leave that there, I feel. But it's complete in its case. I don't know if it's very valuable. Probably not. So I don't know if I'm going to find this one a new home, if it's, you know, even worth trying to find it a new home, or if it'll just have a space on my shelf just for that, you know, just for the cover art. But anyway, just a bizarre one that I just didn't expect to come across at all. I went to, where did I find these? These are at my Red Cross. My you know, a lot of times you go into the Red Cross and there's nothing, and every now and then you go in and you find like ICO, right? So these came from there. I didn't find anything ICO level this time, but I found a little bit of eBay fodder. First is WWE 2K22 and Call of Duty Black Ops 3 as well. So we'll see if we can find them some new homes somewhere, hopefully. For me, though, for my shelf, I found this little puppy that someone had dropped in. It's really fucking heavy, too. There's a lot in here. And that is the Command & Conquer Saga. Now, I think Scott already owns this from memory. So this is like the first 12 years of Command & Conquer games, is that right? Oh, the first 12 games in Command & Conquer the first decade, as well as Command & Conquer 3 Tiberium Wars. Why is this so heavy? Oh, the manuals are fucking huge, that's why. Jesus. Look at that, that's a novel. And the other one is in there as well. Just the one disc, though. Hang on a second. Oh, no, they're all in there. I thought, like, hang on. Have I been had here? No, all the discs are in there. It just only looked like there was one disc. But you can see them all. There's about 4 discs in there. Yeah, big, heavy case. But I love my Command & Conquer, and I don't have physical copies. I would still like to get like the original Command & Conquer on its own, Red Alert on its own, Red Alert 2 on its own. But they're very hard things to find, and when you do find them, they're not cheap at all, usually. So in the meantime, I know I have kind of physical copies of them in this collection. So there we go. Another one for the shelf. Oh, and this was, I thought, a bit of a find. I don't know how rare this is or how hard to find this is, but when I saw it, I just snatched it up straight away. And that is a physical edition of StarCraft. Now, unfortunately, it's the bestseller series box, which I don't like, but, you know, it's better than not having it. In pretty good condition, too. So there we go. A nice copy of StarCraft. I think Brood Wars is in here as well, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure I had a look through it and found that in there too. So there we go. They are my, well, not all of my game pickups. I've got a few other eBay game pickups, but I'll save them for the end because they're like some super retro pickups that I'll talk about when I get to them. Let's get into some movies that I found. There's a shitload of movies. Starting off with the Star Wars prequel trilogy box set. And again, these were $1. So $3 for this little box set here. It's not in the best condition, but it's not bad. I like these movies, especially Phantom Menace. Phantom Menace is probably, very controversially, I'm sure, my favorite Star Wars movie. I really love it. I know that's not everybody's opinion, but I enjoy it. I understand that these movies are, technically not the most well written or whatever movies, especially if you're a Star Wars fan. I've said before, I'm not a huge Star Wars fan myself, and so I got what I wanted out of these movies, and again, they're another thing that's emblematic of a period of time for me. So seeing them is quite nostalgic. But they're all there, so I'm happy to have them because I definitely did want them. I've got the other, the classic Star Wars trilogy already, but now I can put the prequels up there. I've got no interest in tracking down the new trilogy. I did not like those movies at all. Speaking of Star Wars, the classic trilogy, I know I already own it, but this was on the shelf for like $3, and I was like, what? Surely not. But it was right, and it is the box set of the Star Wars trilogy, as well as the bonus material disc. Check that out. Sort of embossed cover. So I'm not sure, like, again, the trilogy set that I already have is in like a single DVD case, which is really, really good for space saving. This is significantly larger. So I'm not sure if I'll keep this or the other one that I've got. But one way or another, I'm going to keep one of them, and the other one I'm going to shift on to a new home. But yeah, lovely box set, especially that side. Look at that. That's awesome. I remember seeing this on the shelf when it was in stores and thinking, oh, that looks pretty fucking good. So yeah, for a few bucks, I wasn't going to walk away and leave that there. Oh god, my tower of shit's going to fall over. Hang on. Next up, this was an eBay find. This is one that I was actively searching for and that I knew I wanted. And it just so happened that this version of it was the most cost-effective way to get it all in one lot, in one case. And that is the Jurassic Park Collector's Steelbook. Check this thing out. Like, again, I'm not a huge like steelbook guy, but this is a cool one. Just clean, And we look inside. Got it all there, all nice. It's got the Beyond Jurassic Park disc as well with all the documentaries. I've watched them all, I'm pretty sure, multiple times over the years. But it's nice to have a physical, copy of it now. But yeah, just a really nice steelbook. Got this sort of little weird mini sleeve with all the stuff on the back there. It looks a bit blurry on my screen. I hope this is coming through okay. There we are. But yeah, Jurassic Park Steelbook DVD set. I knew I didn't own a physical copy of Jurassic Park, my favorite movie ever, as I've said many times. And now I have it, as well as the second and third one as well. But I also found, and like I said, that was an eBay find. But then when I went in and bought the Star Wars original trilogy box set, they also had on the shelf this Jurassic Park trilogy Blu-ray set. So now I have 2 lots of Jurassic Park. I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I don't know if I'll keep it or it doesn't make a lot of sense, really. Like, I don't know. I guess it was the Jurassic Park trilogy and I couldn't leave it there even though I already had it. Let's see if we can take this out. Have a little looky. Oh yeah, there's Spino. There they all are. And on the other side, ooh. Oh, that's it. Okay, just Spino. Cool. Is this like DVD and... Yeah, that's a DVD. So these are DVDs and Blu-rays, but this one doesn't have that making of disc, which was, the real sort of find for me. So maybe this one will get found a new home, even though it's like the higher quality. I mean, I'm not that fussed about Blu-ray versus DVD. My eyes are shit anyway, so it's sort of like much of a muchness for me. Okay, next up I found the Two Towers, this time in the maroon brown case that I've been searching for ages. I found that lovely sleeve cover copy on the last pickups video, I think it was. And I said it was a case of whether I found the sleeve covers for the other 2 or the maroon copy of this one to complete the set. Well, the maroon copy has 1, so I'll probably find that sleeve cover one a new home, and this one will go onto my shelf to match its companions, its fellowship, if you will. I also found this there, Collateral. This is I just grabbed this because this is one of my absolute favorite movies ever. I fucking love this movie. If you haven't seen it because you don't like Tom Cruise, I would certainly recommend still checking it out because this is one of the most non-Tom Cruise films I think I've ever seen. Just a fucking banger of a movie. Really, really, really good. If you like a good thriller with really great dialogue. So again, $1 for one of my favorite movies. I thought, yeah, I'll grab that. I found, I think it was Raiders of the Lost Ark last pickups video. And I said I'm going to have to try and find the others now. Well, I also found this. The Adventures of Indiana Jones box set. So now I've got them. I'll probably redonate that Raiders of the Lost Ark. It cost me $1. I'm not that fussed. But yeah, I found this lovely collection here with, again, a nice, I don't know if you can tell, a nice embossed sort of cover there. Yeah, really happy to find that one. So that's all of them, boom, in one go, as well as the bonus material disc as well. Get them out for a very, very quick look. Bonus material, Last Crusade, Temple of Doom, my favorite one, and Raiders. So there we go. A nice find. Again, a couple of bucks. This was. Again, I think it was maybe $3 to get this box set. So another one I wasn't going to leave there, even if I wanted to find it a new home. But I don't. I want to keep that one for me. Holy shit. This is all via... That's all via my bookshop, by the way. Like the bookshop that I regularly go into. All of this has come from there, as has these next finds as well. More movie box sets. So this is one that's probably going to end up going to Scott. I found it and I messaged him a picture and said, do you want this? And he said yes. But now that I have it, I might be reluctant to give it up. No, he can have it. It's his. It's just such a cool set of movies. And that is the Jackie Chan Dynamic Collection. So this has... What's this got on it? I don't know if you can tell there. Armor of God, Project A Part 2, Police Story 1 and 2, The Young Master... Dragons Forever, Wheels on Mules, I've never heard of that one, Shaolin Wooden Men, Battle Creek Brawl, Dragon Lord, and The Fearless Hyena. I haven't heard of that one either. But yeah, just a nice box set of the legend that is Jackie. Check them out. Really cool. A little bit about each one too, which is a nice little touch there. A nice little bit of info about Jackie there. And just like this red and black art that they've got. Yeah, just a cool find. And again, this one was a little bit more expensive. I think this was... How much was this one? This might have been sort of like $6 or something. Not much anyway, you know. But compared to all the others that I found, I think because it had so many movies in it, 15 discs, like secondhand stores tend to look at how many discs is in there and they charge based on that. Regardless of whether those discs have films on them or not. But yeah, just a really, really fucking cool box set. So that'll be going to Scott, as will this next one, because I messaged and asked if he wanted this as well. Believe it or not, Scott's never seen any of these, this particular Action Heroes movies, despite being a huge 80s action hero fan. And that is the Chuck Norris 6 movie collection, baby. Check that. Now, I don't know that I've necessarily... I feel like I've seen Delta Force. I feel like I've seen Missing in Action. I don't think I've seen any of the others. And it was a very, very long time ago, so I don't really even remember them. But, Scott's never seen any Chuck Norris movies, so he was like, yep, I'll take that. So that'll be going to Scott as well. And I picked this one up. I don't know if I'll keep this or pass it on again. It's something that's pretty cool. It's still sealed, like on the tin, and that is the Bruce Lee Icons collection. And this has the Big Boss, Fist of Fury, Game of Death 2, Way of the Dragon, and The Legend. All fucking crackers. And yeah, unopened, still sealed on both sides. So I'll have to figure out a way to get that off. Hopefully my little Goo-Gone can take care of that. But this little sort of slip at the bottom, that comes off. And there we go. Bit of an odd shaped thing to store. You know, I love Bruce Lee. I loved his a lot of his philosophies. I love his movies. It would be cool to hang on to this, but it is a big, chunky, oddly shaped thing. So I don't know if this one's going to stay on the shelf or not. It's quite dusty too. Needs a good clean. But there we go. Focus camera. There we go. The Bruce Lee collection. Holy Christ, we're still going. Jesus. Hang on, I need to shuffle some stuff around here. How long have we been doing this for now? Nearly 30 minutes of fucking pickups. This is insane. This is ridiculous. Okay. This next one's an eBay pickup. This is, again, another one I was specifically searching for. I'm not searching for any movies, really, specifically. Jurassic Park was one that I knew I wanted on my shelf. There's not many more than that I'm actively chasing to have. It's more if I come across it and it evokes a memory that I might pick it up. But this is one I actively wanted to have for the shelf. And that is, finally, after having that heartbreak find in the Red Cross, I found this one on eBay for quite cheap. And that is Pokemon, the first movie, the VHS. Yes. Fucking yes. Let's go. Oh, I was so chuffed to find this. It's got a little bit of damage down the bottom, which is probably why it was much cheaper than others I've seen. But this one, unlike the one I found in the Red Cross, has not a spot of mold to be found. So, yeah, really, really happy. Really, really, really happy to find. This is one of my my favorite pickups of this month was finally tracking this down to go on the shelf. That's a very special thing for me. Yep. Wrapped to have that. Crap. I need to find some more room. There we go. This was a joking one for Scott. This is going to go to Scott whether he wants it or not because he's never seen any of them. The Three Ninjas triple pack, baby, with Hulk Hogan. Come on. Oh, I loved these movies as a kid. I thought they were fantastic. And I know they won't hold up now. I know they're going to be dog shit. But it might be fun to watch these with Scott on his next visit, given that he's never ever seen a Three Ninjas movie. So that's one for his collection. He can use it as coasters or chuck it in the bin for all I care. But hopefully don't throw it in the bin, Scotty. At least re-gift it to somebody. But I just thought it was just a funny little thing that I found. Zulu, a fucking great film, classic, absolute classic of cinema. This is going in my shelf because I really enjoy this movie. This was an inspiration for so many games of Warhammer back in the day. They even did a battle report in White Dwarf based on this film, which was really cool as well, with like some rules for like healing injured guardsmen and stuff. But yeah, just a really cool movie. One for Scott, the Die Hard collection. This has got how many movies? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 movies. So Scotty was chasing that one. Again, $1. It was $1 for all those movies. He can have that for sure. I grabbed this. I don't know why. The Mummy, I mean, I love The Mummy, don't get me wrong. I don't necessarily need it for my shelf. I think this was all at the Red Cross from now on. All the movies I'm going to show you were at the Red Cross. They just had heaps of like decent, good stuff, and they were just clearing it all out for $1. And so I just started grabbing shit, you know? And so I think this one just ended up being picked up and I forgot to put it back. But yeah, fucking great movie. I might keep it at my shelf. We'll see. The reason why it's a bit of a weird pickup is because I also got this, the Mummy trilogy. Now this one's for Scott. Scott said he was chasing this one, so this will go to him, and I might keep just the first one. I've got no real love or attachment for the sequels. But yeah, that's for his shelf. Another one I picked up just because, again, it was $1. Back to the Future trilogy. Again, $1 for those classic films. Not ones that I'm not a huge Back to the Future fan. I know Dom like just fucking loves this series. They're like his favorite thing in the whole wide world. I don't have the nostalgic attachment to it. Like it was never something I really watched. I think I watched Back to the Future 3 as a kid, and I did enjoy it. But I hadn't seen the first two when I watched the third one, so you're kind of just chucked in at the end a little bit. So I guess I missed this. I wasn't much of a sci-fi kid when I was young, so I probably didn't really have the interest in it. But yeah, I grabbed it. Whether we find it a new home or I'm not sure what I'll do with that one, but it was $1, so I just grabbed it. This was interesting. This one I'll try and find a new home. The Real Ghostbusters, complete first season. Now, you don't see that every day. And I grabbed it again. As soon as I saw it, I picked this up. Because it's just not one that you come across. Certainly not anymore. So, not one that I watched growing up, but I know one that is very, very well loved. Especially the toy line that goes along with it. And then we found some classic, absolute fucking classic horror for Scotty. And he was like, yep, I want all of those, please. So we found, I'll just run through them quickly. Frankenstein. Bride of Frankenstein. King Kong, the original. Whoa. And Dracula. So great little collection there. Again, they're not, King Kong I'd like to see, but I've got no real attachment to these, but even I was pretty chuffed to come across these all together. But they're all Scotwood bound. And this one is one that, again, I just grabbed because it was there and it was $1 and I hadn't seen it before. I'll probably try and find it in a new home. Not one I've got any attachment to. And that is Rurouni Kenshin, the live action film. So there we go. I might give it a watch before I move it on. I like Rurouni Kenshin well enough. I haven't seen this. I don't know if it was a good adaptation. It says here, the single best Japanese live-action adaptation I have ever seen from Kotaku. Oh, well, who knows if that's legit or not. But there we go. So, again, just another little curio that was sitting there for $1. I was like, fuck, for $1 it can jump in my bag. Oh god, I need to make room again. Alright. It's fucking ridiculous. These were also all at the Red Cross. Someone had, some wrestling fan had clearly just brought in their collection and dumped the entire lot of it. So these two are going on my shelf, and that is the Royal Rumble Complete Anthology Volume 1 from 1988 to 1992. The fucking golden age, man. Yes. What's that? There's five Royal Rumbles by the looks of it. Over 5 discs. Yes, please. Thank you very much. I love my classic era professional wrestling, like the early 90s up to sort of early to mid 90s. So I was chuffed to find that. Again, $1. I'll have that. As well as the history of WrestleMania, 1985 to 93. So this is a sort of like, I guess, a documentary / sort of a look back with commentary over the years of WrestleMania, of those like WrestleMania, what's that, 1 to 9? Yeah, another one that I'm keen. Next time Scott visits, we'll chuck probably both of those on, and have a little bit of a look. I'm actually quite keen to have a look at this one, so that should be pretty cool. So good finds. The next lot, these are all, oh Christ, Jesus, so many. These are all going to, or as many as they want, Scott's partner, who is also a big wrestling fan. More of a modern wrestling fan, whereas I'm a retro wrestling fan. But again, someone had clearly dumped their collection in because they had all of these there, and she is welcome to as many of these as she likes. So I'll put them this way up just in case. I'm not going to go through them all because again, I don't really know. I recognize Mick Foley. That one would be an interesting one to have a look at. But the rest are sort of beyond my, well beyond my era of interest. But yeah, a huge mass of wrestling stuff there that she's welcome to. Okay, fucking hell, we're nearly there, guys. We're nearly there. We're nearly through it. Thank you for sticking around if you made it this far. I hope this is interesting. I really do. I always debate how interesting these pickups videos actually are. Just me showing shit that I've found over the last month. But, you know, if you are finding it interesting, think about maybe going down and giving the video a like. Just so I know whether this is something that you want to see. Let's have a look at some books that I managed to find. I found this. This is for my partner's son. The Minecraft, the Nether and the End sticker book. The reason I picked it up is because it still has most of its stickers in there. And he's a big Minecraft fan, so again, it was $1, so I'll check with him if that's something that he wants, and if it's not, I'm sure I'll be able to find it another home somewhere. But for $1, I thought it was worth a try. Where am I going to put these things? Far out. Okay, let's go there. This is one. Oh, this was my other big win find of, like, I know I've had some really good finds here. But the Pokemon first movie VHS was like my big one. This was another one that I was like, oh my god, this I found on the Facebook Marketplace for very, very little. I think maybe $8 that they wanted for this. I think maybe even that might be too high. Maybe it was $5. I can't remember. It wasn't much at all anyway. And I jumped on it immediately because I've just played this particular entry in the series. And that is the Pokemon Black and White Strategy Guide, Volume 1. So I have a little, I mean, it's in really, really good condition. And I've said before, I love having these Pokemon strategy guides. Like, just flicking through them is such a rush of nostalgia. This one less so because it's a game I've only just played. But I still wanted to have it anyway. Very much so. Got the region map that is tear-outable. Here we go. Unova region. Yeah, fucking great game. Black and White was a fantastic, fantastic game. Really enjoyed it. I didn't quite... I think I got distracted by other things, and I don't think I've gotten all the way through it yet. I think I'm like, I don't know, sort of lingering around the 8th gym at the moment. But I do need to go back and finish it at some point. I just haven't... It's just a time thing, you know. I've only got so much time. But yeah, wrapped to find that. Any of these that I can track down, I just want. And this next one, I think I'm going to do, if this table cam setup has been agreeable and works, and you think it's worth doing, I might do this as a flip through, a video just having a look through this, because this is at my bookshop. I picked this up and I just grabbed it immediately. This is the Retro Gamer Story of Pokemon 25th Anniversary Edition. And this is, I'm not going to flip through it now, but this is going through, it's the whole thing is dedicated to Pokemon and each Pokemon game. It goes through each generation of Pokemon game. We'll have a very quick look. Very quick. Come on. Focus. 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 There we go. No. Focus. There we go. Look at that. Just goes through each generation, all the Pokemon. Oh, look at that. Yeah, anyway, I won't spoil it. We won't go any further into it. But I'm really, really keen to have a look through that. I haven't looked through it myself yet. I've restrained myself from browsing through it so I can make a video about it. But I as soon as I saw that, I grabbed it. This was, I think, more expensive than most of the games and stuff that I've bought. I can't remember how much this was, like $4, $5 or something. It's funny in that bookshop how, like, magazines and things, they price higher than their, like, actual video games. But yeah, I was happy to pay it for this one. That was a great find. Wrapped in that. Okay. We've got 4 items left. 4 things left, and then we're all done. I'll very quickly show you this one. This is one I picked up recently at a sale at EB. I grabbed some of these for my daughter for her birthday, which she celebrated recently, and they were on her list of things that she wanted. And while I was in there, I was like, oh wow, these are like marked down to like half price or less. I think I might grab myself one of these as well. And that is the McFarlane Toys World of Warcraft figures. So I've gone with the Orc Warrior Shaman here. Shaman. And I'll probably do an unboxing video of this one in the near future. But yeah, it's one to look out for, one that I'll be happy to have and put on the shelf somewhere. All right, let's get into our retro. Let's get into the three retro pickups that I managed to find this month. One of which is a Grail game, a big hitter Grail game for me, like one that I've been actively trying to find from the beginning. It's not one that's difficult to find, but trying to find it again in a price range that I can actually afford has been very, very challenging. But I managed to do it this month, and I did that right at the beginning of the month too. So, given that everything that followed for the rest of the month, Yeah, feeling it a little bit, I'll tell you that. But first, before we get to the Grail, let's have a look at this one here. We got Pilot Wings 64. I managed to pick up. This was $40 for complete in-box Pilot Wings. One of the launch titles for my favorite system ever. Yeah, oh, that was a steal. I absolutely wanted to make sure I grabbed that. I didn't play a lot of it back in the day. I think I had one quick go of it when we did a rental. It wasn't my cup of tea, and I had no connection to Pilot Wings on the SNES. So I didn't really track with it. But I think, again, it's just being a launch game for the system. This and Super Mario 64, another game which I didn't really like all that much, Super Mario 64, but I still want to have them because they were launch titles for that particular console. So I've got one of the two launch titles now. So happy to have that. And it's in really good nick. It's got like a bit of sticker residue here that I can clean off fairly easily. But other than that, it just needs a box protector. And that is it, I think. But yeah, I won't go through it because we might do a collecting retro on it. We'll see how we go. This next one I know is a favorite of Sam's on the channel. It's one I didn't own. I did play it. A friend of mine had it. He quite liked it. I didn't like it as much because, again, I'm just not a 3D platformer guy, really. But I can appreciate why it's so well loved. Definitely, 100%. It's a classic for sure. And that is Banjo-Kazooie for the shelf. And again, I did sort of like play around with it a bit via my buddy who I played a lot of my 64 games with. So it does have those memories attached to it. Again, complete in box. And this was another really good deal. I can't remember exactly how much this one cost me, but it was, again, significantly less than I've seen this particular game for online. This one usually can often go for, over $100. I did not pay that. But yeah, complete in box. It's got a little bit of scuffing. Again, I've got all my pickups. Again, as I've said, I'm not a mint collector, so I managed to get these things a little bit cheaper because they are a little bit pre-loved. There's a little bit of a ding on the bottom corner here, a little bit of scuffing on the top. I mean, nothing horrific, that's for sure. I was quite pleasantly surprised when it showed up at just how good a condition it was actually in for the money. So, yep. Happy to have that one for the shelf. Another classic, but not as big a classic as this one is. Oh boy. Everyone who had a Nintendo 64 has the respect for this one and the love and probably owned a copy of it themselves. And that is GoldenEye. Finally on my shelf. One I've been looking for what feels like so long now, trying to find a copy of this that is not astronomically expensive and also in decent condition, right? I wanted, for big hitters like this, I want them to be in at least respectable sort of nick. This one was cheaper because it has, as you can see, a crease in the cover here and here. There's two little box creases there. But other than that, it is in very good shape. But given that the front cover is what everyone looks at and what everybody wants to be in good condition, I think it was marked down because it had those little creases. But I was happy. I was happy with what I paid for it. I was happy to go with that. But yeah, GoldenEye. So yeah, definitely look for a collecting retro on GoldenEye. We're going to be taking a look at that one. This is complete in box, so it's got the manual. We'll have a flip through that and relive some memories. And that, finally, is everything that I managed to find on my little pickups journey this month. Let's go back up the top. There we go. We'll go back up top here. And yeah, that's a whole load of shit. Now I've got to find homes for all of it somewhere behind me here. Well, not all of it. Probably about half of it is mine and half of it is either going to Scott or going to get to eBay to hopefully further fund some nice retro pickups. But yeah, I'm wrapped in that GoldenEye. That's another Grail game ticked off the list again. We're on a bit of a run with Grails at the moment. We're having some good luck with the Grails, so hopefully we can keep that going for decent money, and I can keep adding those to the shelf and crossing them off the list. But there we go. I don't know if you can remember everything that I just showed you, but if you can, did you play any of these games either recently or growing up? Have you had anything to do with any of these films, these books, these TV series, anything at all that I've picked up? If any of it speaks to you and sparks memories for you, then make sure you drop down in the comments and let me know and share your thoughts on what I've managed to find here. But other than that, until next time, my friends, that's going to do it from me. My name has been Jamie Dean, and as always, make sure you keep on side scrolling. Take it easy. Whew.